everyone, and welcome back to your show, Sound Character Maxims with David ADEGBOYEGA, right here on GVTV. Always a joy, always a pleasure to do this, and I'm very, very grateful to the management of Glorious Vision Television of the Apostolic Church here at K2, Lagos, Nigeria, West Africa, Africa, the world. It's always a joy to do this. And today, before I start our show, I have an Igbo song in my spirit. I want to sing it out. So if you are Igbo people, I may not sound it correctly, but you know what I'm saying. You know, the song says that what we are doing is a spiritual thing, and the one we are worshiping is the Okemo, the greatest spirit. Oya na tura jaboke mo, iya ne buye mo, oya na tura jaboke mo. What are we saying? What we do on this show is a spiritual thing. When we're talking about sound character, it's a spiritual business. I know it. And I know that when something is spiritual, it has to be handled very carefully. Why? Because there are attacks. There are things, you know, Jesus said, I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Building the church is a spiritual thing. And immediately, the first day that Jesus talked about the church, he says also that the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Meaning what? Meaning that the gates of hell, they are trying to prevail against it. Not just fight against, but prevail. But they have failed. So that's why I'm happy to announce to you that so long as you listen to this show or any other ones that talk about character development, the gates of hell cannot win in your home. The gates of hell cannot win in your business. If you run your business based on sound character, you're going to have a great business. And today, our topic is sound character helps you build a reputation that precedes you. Sound character helps you build a reputation that precedes you. A reputation that goes before you. Sound character helps you to build a reputation that precedes you, that goes before you. Sales expert Jeffrey Gitoma says, building a great reputation helps you attract new customers and probable purchasers. Jeffrey Gitoma. He says, building a great reputation helps you attract new customers and probable purchasers. And it's important for us to place a premium on our reputation. And of course, when we talk about reputation, we're talking about what people see on the outside. But character is who you are on the inside. Character is who you are on the inside. Now, we know that it's from inside out. So, in your heart, do you layer treasures of sound character in your heart? If you do not, please do. I want to urge you from today, let sound character fill your heart. No matter where you are, no matter how rich you are, please let sound character fill your heart. Let sound character fill your home. When you're on the internet, let sound character guide you. You know the sites you don't need to go to on the internet. Let sound character screen your screen for you. That's what we do. See, as you see me, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm telling you, I am not afraid of anything. Why? Because of sound character. And when I'm talking about sound character, it's not coming from me, it's coming from God. Sound character is from God. It's a spiritual thing. And that's why I sang that Igbo song earlier. What we're doing is a spiritual thing. And the person we are worshiping is the Okemo, the greatest spirit. What we are doing is a spiritual thing. See, when you talk about sound character, when you do your business with sound character, you are doing a spiritual thing. Business is spiritual, you know that. If you ensure that you do your business in honesty, in integrity, that business will scale. And that's why sales expert Jeffrey Gitoma is saying that when you build your reputation, it will help you attract new customers. It will help you attract probable purchasers, that is, those that have a high tendency to buy. It's important. You will attract partners. It's just how it works. Building reputation. A reputation for honesty. A reputation for transparency. A reputation for punctuality. You know, like we say, punctuality is the soul of business. And you know, where I pastor as a pastor is in an area of Lagos called Amposi in Makoko in Lagos, Ebute Metta area of Lagos. When you're driving on Third Mainland Bridge, those stilt houses you see on the water, somewhere inside there is where my church is. And I mean, it's not a beautiful environment, okay? But glory to God, children and teenagers are coming. Some youths, of course, are coming. Some adults are coming. And the teenagers, you know, God says to me, hey, I want you to mentor these ones, because these guys will transform the future of this environment. And one of the things I'm trying to teach them now is punctuality. Punctuality. Punctuality is a big deal. If you have a reputation for punctuality, you will excel in life. And punctuality means a lot. It means a lot. The time is 8 o'clock. You need to be there. Then be there. I mean, like I learned, you know, many years back, on time is late. On time is what? Is late. When you plan to get somewhere on time, just know you are planning to get there late. Because if anything happens on the way, you will be late. So plan to arrive at least 30 minutes earlier. If you plan to arrive 30 minutes earlier, worst case scenario, you get there 15 minutes before. You're fine. So reputation is very key. And reputation, what people see on the outside, becomes dangerous when it's not who you are on the inside. So you must ensure that who you are on the inside is who you are outside. And that's why we're talking about sound character, to ensure that who you are on the inside is who you are on the outside. You know, they say character is who you are when nobody's looking at you, when nobody's watching you. That is character. That is who you are. So who am I when no one is looking at me? The things I do when no one is looking at me, can I do it when everybody's looking at me? Do I do something different on the side? And see, these things we need to train ourselves. That's why this show is coming to you. Sound character, MAXIMS for a successful future. And today we're saying that sound character helps you to build your reputation. And it brings opportunities your way. You have a reputation for hard work. You have a reputation to serve people. leadership will come to you. Because we know that leadership is about influence, leadership is about service, leadership is about stewardship. And all these things, when we put them together, it emerges into a great life. So I want you to know, as we go on our show today, that the best legacy, the best thing you can invest in is in sound character. And that's why, a whole lot goes into this show to bring this to you. I am very grateful, to God for my parents. Recently, they clocked 55 years in marriage. And I want to thank God for them. 55 years, that is a century plus 5. And of course, out of that marriage, I have come. And 4 other wonderful people. And the things I'm talking about today are the things I have learned coming out of that family. It's important for us to have a reputation for excellence, to have a reputation for punctuality, to ensure that our inner aligns with our outside. And of course, that our inner aligns with God. Things are always not perfect. Things don't have to be perfect. But you must have an attitude to learn from things. It's important. You must learn. You must have that attitude to learn. You must have a reputation for learning. The school system kind of teaches us not to fail. But there's nothing wrong with failing. So far you learn from your failure. In fact, the real successful people are those who learn from failure, are those who are not afraid of failure. So you must have a reputation of a lifelong learner. Don't be afraid to fail. There's no big deal with failing. It just means you have not learned how it works. Then can't you see that failing in itself is an opportunity to learn how it works and begin to work it out? Thomas Edison did an experiment for 10,000 times. And the 10,000th time, he discovered the filament, the light bulb. And see what's happening today all over the world. And that's why he would say that success is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. And so is your reputation. You must work at it. You must give all your heart to ensuring that your life is aligned with your value system. It's important. And that's why this show comes to us all the time. And today we're saying, if you are in sales, if you're in marketing, if you're in business, please let that business be built on very solid reputations. It may not bring profit in the immediate, but eventually it will bring sustainable profit. It's important when you commit to delivering excellence. Your business will grow. Your business will scale. When you don't give up, when you commit to momentum, when you commit to action, you will definitely make progress. If you have a reputation for action, when you always act, when you're proactive, when you're always engaging your customers, you will make progress. So, and at the heart of building a good reputation is sound character. The character of hard work, the character of transparency. When you make a commitment and something is going to fail, you communicate ahead of time. You don't keep your customers in suspense. You don't keep your spouse in suspense. I love to talk a lot about marriage. And I want you to know that marriage is a blessing. Marriage is a blessing. And as a husband, as a wife, you must have a reputation with your wife. You must have a reputation with your husband. And you must work at it to ensure that nothing breaks that reputation. It's very important. It's very, very key. the Bible tells us in Ephesians that you must wash your wife with water by the word, just like Christ does to us, the church. You know, that Ephesians 5 is so explosive on marriage. Very, very, very. You know, in Ephesians 5, we understand that husband and wife must submit ourselves to one another. So it's not just the man submitting to the wife. But what is that place really saying? It's just trying to illustrate the relationship between Christ and the church. How Christ laid down his life for us, and how we too should, accept him and love him and follow him and follow the example he has laid for us. So Christ has an undying reputation that he loves us. So we also must love the way we are loved. We must build a reputation of love. Reputation is very key. How did David, first of all, enter the palace? Why? Because they knew him. He had a reputation on his strings. He has a reputation for taking care of his few sheep as a shepherd boy. Reputation. And what that does to you is it defines you. It defines you. So no matter where you find yourself, you own your own. Your head remains on your shoulders. On your shoulder. That's what reputation does to you. It keeps you calm. It keeps you collected. It keeps you committed. It keeps you focused. And let me tell you what, there will always be distractions. There will always be distractions. And that's why we need to guard our reputation. We need to guard our character like golden eggs. We need to guard our character like golden eggs. We need to guard our character like the hen that lays the golden eggs. Very important. And, I see the future of Nigeria very great, because I know that we will raise a new generation to whom corruption is no option, no matter the challenge. And I know that what we are doing is a spiritual thing, and definitely there are going to be forces against it, but we have the greatest force. We have Yahweh Sabaoth. We have the Lord of hosts, the King of glory. Like Nathaniel Bassey sang in his song, the Lord of hosts, the King of glory, Yahweh Sabaoth, Yahweh Sabaoth. The Lord of hosts, the Lord of hosts is with us. So we need to understand that what we are doing is a spiritual thing. If we're going to save Nigeria, just look at what is happening in our Senate. Look at what's happening in the highest hierarchy of our leadership. Those things don't make us happy. That's why a lot of us young people, we are ranting. But the real deal is for us to commit to character excellence, so that when we do emerge as leaders, we will do differently. So it's important not to be so focused on ranting, not to be so focused on abusing our leaders. No, that won't solve any problem. Please, my fellow young people, abusing our leaders will not solve any problem. It has not, it will not, it still will not. What will solve this problem is for you and I to be people of character excellence. I'm telling you. Because see, around our current leaders, they are young people. But those are young people that cannot, objectively, advise and say the truth if they do not. But of course, we know that their work is to advise, is left to the executive to take the advice. But you and I need to be young people that can look leadership in the face and say the truth and not pander to the line of leadership. It's important. Very, very important. I mean, look at Naaman There's a story in the Bible, Naaman and a house girl. You know, he gave Naaman information of how he could get healed. And Naaman got there, and pride set in when they asked him to go and wash himself in the river Jordan. And he says, are there no better rivers? And the house girl says, sir, please do it. And thank God for a leader in Naaman who obeyed. So the problem is not the leaders. We are, if we are. And by the grace of God, we are not the problem. We belong to the solution. We are the generation that will bring solution. That's the truth. And that's why this show is coming to you. You know, we are the new generation. We go bring revival. We no go disembark until we see Jesus taking over. I am one of them. And you are one of us too. I think that song was Ebuka Songs. Credit to him. So it's important for us to know that we have in our hands a great nation. And this nation will be preserved. You don't have to be the president. You don't have to be the governor. You don't have to win the contract. But you have to be a man and a woman of sound character. Very important. Very essential. Very critical. Sound character, like we're saying on our show today, helps you build a reputation that precedes you. Sound character. You know, when you live a life of sound character, you are paying up front for success. Nothing can stop you. There can be no shame. Galatians chapter 5, verse 24 says, above this, there is no law. That is, nothing can arrest you if you live by sound character. Nothing can shame you if you live by sound character. When we say God no go shame us, yes, that is true. When you live by sound character, you are living by the way God has ordained, and then God no go shame you. So it's important for us, ladies and gentlemen, to imbibe a life of sound character. Parents, to do whatever it takes to instill sound character in your children. It's a journey. It builds reputation. As I begin to wrap up today, I want to repeat what Jeffrey Gitoma says. He's a sales expert. Jeffrey Gitoma. He says, building a great reputation helps you attract new customers and probable purchasers. Honesty, speaking the truth, hard work, and creating indispensable value always help you build good reputation. Honesty, transparency, all the sound character strengths that we talk about in the sound character book, they help you build reputation. When you're doing that, you're building a great business. You're building a great family. You're building a great relationship. You're building a great nation. As I wrap up on our show today, I want you to know that the best of you is yet to be seen. The best of your life is yet to be seen. The best in your children is yet to be seen. Please, let's embrace building good reputation. How? By speaking the truth always, by hard work, by focus, by determination, by vision, by action, by perseverance, by diligence, by discipline. As we do that, we build a good reputation and success is assured. It's my joy to remain your host of this show, Sound Character Maxims with David ADEGBOYEGA, right here on GVTV. Till I come your way next time, remember this: what we put into education today will reflect in our culture tomorrow. Let's put sound character into education and raise a generation to whom corruption is no option. Stay safe and God bless you. Thank you so much.